Will the other two players, Heartbreak and Diligent, also stick to this, or they're going to be with a slower pace playstyle? We know that there's Ragdoll users right here. Gianna might appear a lot in this draft, and I really hope to see a Ciara tonight.
Yeah, that would be excellent to see a Ciara. Oh man, it looks like they watched the last game. Pontos getting banned out pretty early there in the pre-ban phase. After that showing too, I'd be afraid of him enough to pre-ban him too.
And that tells us a lot about what playstyle he's going to choose, and he takes away the Gianna. On the other hand, we see Jogan. Is it going to be a Moore? Is it going to be a Ciara? No, he chooses the Ragdoll. He wants to split those two LDs since, and we talked about how Tian Lang was going to be huge right here. 3 of these players own him, so this is going to be pretty interesting.
Tian Lang is not the pick you want to see on the opposite side of your Ragdoll. That's an excellent counter pick, and picking it early too. Is kind of interesting because it's also a fairly neutral option because it's just a good counter. It's a good unit you want to have on your comp. There's that Lulu that you talked about earlier too.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad we see the Lulu. So this is probably a 100% res Lulu. Very strong monster against this comp. Bringing in against the Bruisers a lot of sustain. Heals on every skill. Has double cleanse, immunity. And right now he says, you want to bruise it up? Well, I'll bring my Jaeger and Molly.
Wow, a Jaeger. This is great. I was just thinking this one is missing damage, and now all of a sudden I can't get. There's so much damage now. This is great. Following up, Diligent following up with a Leica right after it, a Han too.
I really, really like Diligent's draft. He adapted a lot against what was brought to the table. He changes the Han. Is it still? No, it's still the Han. The thing is that the Han is nerfed by its own Tian Lang. Remember, the attack bar gain is not only nerfed for your opponents, but for yourself. So I think that's why he was thinking about it. He was like, should I still bring the Han? It's like bringing, not as bad as bringing a Diana with a Tian Lang, but you still don't get all the value that you could. But now the last pick for Heartbreak is extremely important because he can bring another source of heals. I would really love Vigor actually here. I know he was nerfed, but it's an interesting monster in this, and he brings the Yanhong, another healer, which probably tells him, I'm gonna ban that Tian Lang because I have a lot of attack bar gain and I don't want to deal with that.
And I think that's what Diligent was banking on when he locked in the Han too, because you could see him thinking about that symmetrical effect on Tian Lang's passive, right? But I think when he locked it down, he was like, my Tian Lang is probably going to get banned, right? Like, there's no way it's going to make it through here. Notably, there is no source of defense break on Heartbreak's side. So I'm interested to see what that Jaeger's going to hit for. What? This is a turn of events I was not expecting.
Double trick! Neither was I. I really like the ban on the Molly. It's the main source of heals. Yanhong only has it once. He doesn't have to deal with the glancing. And now there's a big opening. The question is, how many of these monsters are on Will, and how big of an impact will Gianna have on turn 1?
Let's see how much. Gianna only having one option, and it's not the option that actually matters because he can't get controlled.
No one's getting stunned turn 1.
No one's
it's like,
stunned.
I don't care about your Gianna. I was ready for it. So blowing it up using skill 2 doesn't really matter. The stun won't stun anyone. So he just saves it.
It's tough. I don't know. I would. It's a close call. Like he wants to save it for the Jogun too. We're gonna have to see what the turn order ends up looking like. But if the Han had an opportunity to maybe lay down some defense break on it, it might have been worth it. And it looks like Jogun is going far first. So that was ending up being a good hold from that.
Chooses to strip so he doesn't get blown up by the bomb with the extra turn. Very well played, very interesting. He prefers to guarantee the attack buff on the Jaeger. That's gonna hit really hard and kills that Gianna right off the bat.
That was a huge attack buff value on that Jaeger. I was wondering how confident he must be in that Jaeger because there's no defense break on the side. He can just do all the damage regardless with the attack buff from Jogun. That damage facilitation is nuts.
Super clutch stun on the Yanhong Evan. He takes her out. She would have the heal, and now Han finishes it. But he knows that this Han is going down and everything will be on Leica's back. Can this Leica beat his two brothers?
Can he carry it against a Ragdoll and a Jaeger? Let's see some predictions. I guess if there was any Dragon Knight that could do it, it would probably be Leica, but I don't know if it's actually a feasible outcome here. Just Chase going out on Tian Lang, bringing him down to about 10% left. This is it. We are going to see if Laika can face down his two brothers and solo Diligent all the way to a victory.
He needs counters, Evan. He needs every counter he can get. One is out. No
That's
counter
not
on
Diligent
the second
is not
one.
happy about this.
Counter on the
He's-
third one. Can he kill right now?
He has to kill Jaeger first. Go.
Justice
He
out.
did it.
Like it's a 1v1 and Laika might take this.
Diligent with the Laika trade. This actually might have just saved him the game. This is gonna save him.
This is game, baby.
Laika wins this.
Laika better than Jaeger and Ragdoll, and Diligent takes game one. What an amazing ending.
That's amazing. Wow. I guess like if anybody could do it, it was gonna be Laika, right?
We talked about it. He's incredible. If you don't have those multi-hits coming in, which both of those Dragon Knights don't, he just gets so big late game. You kill his allies, he gets more damage through Justice, and those two clutch counters. Extremely important to heal through the damage that was going to be dealt by the dots and keep him in the match to finish off both Dragon Knights and the Jogan. A 1v3. Classic Lalo, a Laika solo.
Like a solo, I like it. Yeah, that was a match filled with twists and turns, and I didn't know I was gonna get it, but I'm really happy that it ended with a Laika solo. That's one of my favorite ways for an RTA game to close, and I'm glad we got to see it in the Legend Tournament. This is already playing out much more aggressively than I expected Season 17's Legend Tournament to play.
Laika boss, baby. I want to ask in chat, does anyone have a Laika? Would you like to have one? I don't have one. Only my friend Duran. That's the only Laika I got to use.
I want one as well. Here we go. Round 2, Diligent versus Hard Brick. And this is game point for Diligent as well. If he gets this win right now, he could lock his ticket in for those finals against True Whale.
Will they switch it up, Evan, and pre-ban now Ragdoll, Gianna, or do they still want to have those on the table? We saw that the Gianna did nothing this past match.
Zero.
So maybe Diligent is rethinking that. She just took damage, right? Oh, goes for the ban on the Light Monkey, not wanting to get control, and on the other hand, the Woonsa. So a lot of the same monsters that we saw in the first match, and we might go again on the route of Bruisers for this second.
Yeah, and like you pointed out, I think those pre-bans really signal that Hard Brick is more than comfortable playing against that Gianna. I think it probably knew that a lot of his opponents were going to present that in a pick ban phase, so he took some of his monsters off Will, maybe made some plans against it, and obviously Jaeger is an incredible counterplay option for Gianna turn 1.
And what I really think is going to be big here is this time the Tianlang is on the other side. So he's probably getting banned because there's a lot of important monsters that gain attack bar on Diligent's side.
Yeah, and we were seeing those picks sort of fall into place for Diligent just one after the other. He already knew what sort of draft he wanted to bring, given this Chung Peng on Hard Brick's side.
Finally appearing. I'm really, really glad it's here. So he has double strip, double reset, but only one speed lead. The question is, does he ban the speed lead or does he ban the interruption, the monster that he's afraid of? Because that Pontos is going to be extremely strong in this matchup. Yeah, and he bans the Pontos and the Tianlang, just like we thought.
Yeah,
very good.
Hard Brick knew what was going on. We've all seen it. We saw the True Whale how to play matchup earlier. You don't want to be in that situation. I think that was a great choice. Let's see if Gianna
a Triton
without a speed lead. We're going to have to see.
Lead. Yeah,
let's see. He's very fast. 116.
It's going to be tough.
116 base speed.
I think that Jogan should probably take the turn 1 right here and be able to control the match, hide someone on the scroll. If the Ragdoll is off Will, we haven't seen Diligent's Ragdoll yet, so we have to check if he's on or off Will. That's going to probably decide the match.
Who gets turn 1 here?
On
and
Will,
Jogan
Evan.
properly.
He was ready for Jogan.
He was super ready. There was only one monster up for the scroll trap. Oh, and the speed buff too. He's got so much in his kit.
Yeah,
that
but
Jogan.
he gets cut.
Oh, he gets big time cut by Gianna. She's doing a lot more this time than last round. She's doing a lot more. She's improving.
A lot of damage coming in, and now the Ragdoll can hit on someone with Death Break, lots of damage, and he'll probably lap with this Savannah. Yes, he does. Bomb on one monster that can proc. Is it the Nafties or the Ganny? Puts it on the Ganny. A proc from him extremely strong, and now he can guarantee a kill right here. Who does he go for? Goes for the Nefty's just killing with skill 1 or skill 2.
Ooh.
Nope, guarantees the kill. This is going to be a 3v4, and the Gianna will have bomb in a turn.
That was a little bit of overkill, but I kind of agree with it because they definitely presented the biggest threat on the table, but I think a skill 1 probably would have done it, or a Chung Pung attack would have helped too. Look at that silence. Oh, the huge amounts of control coming out. Gianna really proving why she should be in this draft here today.
This is game, Evan. He was like, he had no choice, because if you don't ban the Speedly, you get outsped by the Triton or the Gianna. If you don't ban the Ragdoll, you're going to give a tech bar to your opponent. What he was thinking was, will I give him enough attack bar to cut between my speed lead and the answer, my speed buff, sorry, and the answer was yes. There's nothing you can do about that Ragdoll passive.
Diligent with another 2-0 in the Season 17 Legend Tournament. So we've got our finals locked down. True Whale versus Diligent.
Extremely important win on game 1. This one was a little bit safer, but game 1, the Leica pick. The Leica solo is going to go down to history as one of the most fun 3v1s we